Hello everyone, I am Archibald and I am going to demonstrate the first two parts of our activity 3, which is implementing REST API in the network topology using SDN controller. So let's start now for the first part, which is to load the network topology. So first is we have to launch our device. So next is we have to launch our packet tracer. And we need to sign in using our Cisco Network Academy account. So let's proceed to the step 2, which is to download the packet tracer activity file if you're not able to save your work from the last activities. Since I already downloaded the last activity file, then I'll just open it in the Cisco packet tracer. So let's just click File, then Open, then look for our file. And let's just wait for the devices to boot and the connections to turn green. So let's proceed to the part 2, which is to set up SDN controller. So step 1 from the top left menu of the packet tracer. Let's go to Options, then click Preferences. Then let's go to Miscellaneous tab. Then we have to make sure that Enable External Network Access, these two checkboxes are checked. Then let's close the window. Then next is step 3. From End Devices, grab a network controller and place it on the workplace. So let's drag a network controller. Then next is from switches. From the network devices switches, let's drag a 2960 switch to the workplace. Then next is detach the copper crossover cable of the router from the Google server. So let's detach it and connect the router to the new switch with pass Ethernet 01 using the same copper crossover cable. So the next step, which is to connect the Google server to the new switch, pass Ethernet 02 using copper switch cable. The next is to connect the network controller gigabit Ethernet 00 to the new switch, which pass Ethernet 03 using a copper straight-through cable. So gigabit 0 to the new switch, pass Ethernet 03. Then Next is let's click the network controller. Then let's go to config. Then in settings, in the global, change the display name into SDN. SDN. Then next is in the gateway text box, enter the router's IP address, which is 8.8.8.1. And let's wait for the prompt and just click OK. Then in Gigabit Ethernet 0 under interface, set the IP address to 8.8.8.2 and the subnet mask to 255.0.0.0. The next is in controller under real world, check the access enable and let's take note of the HTTP port, which is 58,000. Then next is to click the PC1. Then let's go to desktop and to web browser. Then let's enter here the IP address of our SDN controller, which is the 8.8.8.2. And this will show the Cisco Network Controller user setup interface. Then let's register a new user account. Let's have Cisco for the username and password. Cisco123 exclamation. Confirm password Cisco123 exclamation. Then let's click setup and let's log in the same credential Cisco123. Then in here we have to click the triple bar menu. Then let's click the provisioning. Then go to credentials. Then add credential. Then let's add the username. Set Cisco. Then the password is Cisco123 exclamation. Then enable password is Cisco123 exclamation. Then the description would be Cisco. Then click OK. Then next is let's go to the discovery tab. Then click add discovery. Then discovery type would be CDP. And let's name server. Then the IP address would be 8.8.8.8. Then let's see the CLI credentials and let's push the Cisco. Then let's add. Then let's wait for the progress to be completed. Then after the completion, let's go to the network device and you can see here the network device is connected in the topology, which has the IP address of 8.8.8.1 for the router and 50.1.1.2 for the firewall. That's all for the part 1 and part 2 of our activity 3.
Hello everyone, my name is Rothelo John Umol, and I'm here to continue our demonstration for our activity, which is to implement REST API in the network topology using an SDN controller. So now that we're done setting up the SDN controller, let's proceed to part 3, which is to send REST request with Postman. So first, we need to launch Postman and click on this plus sign at the top to create a new request. And here, we're going to change the request type into post. And let's enter the request URL, which should be HTTP localhost 58,000 slash API slash v1 slash ticket. So the purpose of this request URL is we're going to request a service ticket from the Cisco API. Since this is a post request, we need to have a body. So at the body tab, click the raw and change this to JSON. So here, we're going to enter our credentials from the SDN controller. So let's enter username. That will be Cisco, comma, and the password. That will be Cisco 123 exclamation. And after that, click the send button. And this will give us a response in JSON format, which shows the service ticket. We need to take note of this service ticket. So next will be creating another request. At this time, we're going to send a get request to view the network devices in the topology. So what we're going to do is click this plus button and make sure that this is get. And for the request URL, that will be HTTP localhost 58,000 slash API slash v1 slash network dash device. And here, for the headers, here the key, let's enter x dash auth dash token. And as for the value, we need to enter our service ticket. And after that, click send. And this should show the IP address of the router and the firewall. So here, this is the IP address of our router. Let's go back to packet tracer here. The IP address of the router 8881. And for the IP address here 5112. This is the IP address of the firewall. So next is we're going to send another get request. This time we're going to send a get request for the host in the network topology. So all we need to do is change this into host and click the send button. And this should show the IP address of our Google server here. It's 8.8.8.8. If we go back to our packet tracer, this is the IP address of the Google server. And another one that I see here is 10.1.1.11. That should be the IP address of PC1. So there we go. We're done with part 3. Now let's proceed to part 4, which is to send REST requests by using Python scripts. So first thing that we need to do is to launch Visual Studio Code. I have my Visual Studio Code here, and it's at the labs devnet src / Python directory. So let's create a new file. Let's name it SDN underscore ticket.py. This should be coding here, SDN underscore ticket.py. And now we have to enter the following code. Let's see if we can uh, is this code here. Okay, that works. So let's just adjust the indents. Okay, so let's just review the code. The API URL, this should be localhost of 58,000 API v1 ticket. And here are credentials. Cisco was the username, and password is Cisco123 exclamation point. So let's save this, Control S, and let's go to the terminal, new terminal. And let's try to run this. Let's type Python 3 SDN underscore ticket.py. And there, it shows us the surface ticket number, which is this. We'll take note of that later. So next, that we need to do is to create another file which names SDN network device.py. So let's do that. Then new file. Let's name it SDN underscore network device.py. And let's put the code from here to here. And let's make some adjustments. Okay, so in this part, the service ticket, we should get this service ticket here. Let's copy this and paste it here. There. And after that, click save. Save this file. And let's try to run it here at the terminal. So let's type Python 3 SDN underscore network underscore device.py. There, the output is the request status, which is 200, very good. And the IP address of the router, which is 8.8.8.1. Going back to the packet tracer topology again here, 8.8.8.1. And this 50.1.1.2 is the IP address of the firewall. So next is we're going to create another file called SDN underscore host.py. This is for us to send a GET request uh, in order to uh, in order for us to get the IP address of the host in the network. So let's do that. Create new file, SDN underscore host.py. Okay, and let's copy this code and paste it here. And we have some more code here below. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. And we just need to do some adjustments for it to look good. And again, for the service ticket part, we need to uh, replace it with this service ticket here. So copy and paste. Okay, that should do it. So let's save this file, Control S. And now we go back to terminal to run this file. So let's type Python 3 SDN underscore host.py. And there we go. It shows the request status, just 200, very good. And the IP address of our Google server, which is 8.8.8.8. As we go back to the packet tracer, this is it, 8.8.8.8. And also the IP address of our PC1, which is 10.1.1.11, which is also noted here. So there we go. We're done with part 4. Let's now proceed to part 5, which is to send the REST request inside the packet tracer. So what will happen is all that we did here in VS Code, we will apply it inside the packet tracer. So let's go here in the topology. Let's go to PC2 and let's go to the programming tab. And here we have to click new. And let's name this REST API. And the template should be Python. And let's create this. And let's double click this main.py. So here, the code that we need to enter here is the code from the VS Code. So let's copy this and then let's paste it here. There. And here in the main.py editor, we need to change this request URL. We have to change this to the IP address of our SDN controller, which is 8.8.8.2 in order for this to work. So let's find out if we're going to have the same output here. Let's click run. And there we go. There's the request status 200. The IP address of the router, which is 8.8.8.1, and the IP address of the firewall, which is 50.1.1.2, as shown here at the topology. So next is we're also going to test the SDN underscore host.py code in the packet tracer. So let's go back to VS Code and let's copy this code from the sdn_host.py, and paste it here. First, let's clear this up to make sure. There, it has been pasted. And again, we need to change the request URL into the IP address of our SDN controller, which is 8.8.8.2. And that should do it. Let's click the run button. Let's see what's the output. There, here's the output. The request status is 200, very good. And there's the IP address of our Google server, 8.8.8.8, and also the IP address of our PC1, which is 10.1.1.11, as shown here in the packet tracer topology. So there we go. We are done with our activity, which is implementing the REST API in the network topology using SDN controller. Thank you for watching.